I've got a guy, I've talked about him many times, and he'll see this, know I'm talking about him, and it's fine. Um, he's 62, and his wife is 55, and he was adamant that he gets his Social Security at 62. Adamant. And he's like, Ryan, it's not going to be here. So I want to get as much out of the system as I can because it's not going to be here in the future. And so I did everything I could, Oz, to convince this guy that the Social Security benefit wasn't about him. Wasn't about how much he got out of the system, because his wife didn't work, by the way. She took care of the kids. It was about what she got out of the system, and that she's going to live much longer than him. So any calculations he's run, he needs to make sure that he's running them based on her, not himself. And ultimately, I couldn't convince the guy. He went and took his Social Security and filed for it at 62. And the wife's going to be left with, I want to say it's around $1,800 a month when he passes away, when she could have been left with closer to $4,000 a month when he passed away. And it was all because he thought he wouldn't get, his due out of the system. And I get that, man. I mean, people have paid via their FICA Medicare tax, 77.65% per paycheck or per annually, right? It's what they pay in for Social Security and FICA and Medicare. Same thing. And I get that. I mean, you should get every nickel out of the system that you can, because it's already rightfully yours and you paid for it. But there's a better way to do it. And there's strategies that you can employ that may not necessarily be based on you. It's based on somebody else, like a younger spouse.
Yeah. It's just like, I think that's like goes back to the beginning of the conversation, that where the people are making the mistake, like you say, it's not just about you. It's about your family. When you, like, the reason that you want to come to a financial advisor like you, just to make sure that, we are calculating everything. And, like, what happens if she dies? What happens if he dies? Like, what's going to happen to her? Like, how it's going to affect, like you say, especially when there's a 7 years age difference. Does it really make sense for you to collect it at 62 when you can collect at 67 to, the top number? Not the top, obviously, the 70, but, like, get the full amount, that if something happens, your wife actually get that amount instead of $1,600, maybe $3,600 or 4,000, whatever that number is. It's just like, that's the reason that you want to meet with a financial advisor, to make the planning right.
Let me ask you this question. When you think about Social Security benefits and all the people that come into your office and also my office, and more are coming in with this thought process, by the way, they don't think Social Security is going to be there for them. What do you say?
So 6-7 years ago, Social Security used to send these statements, and like I was looking at the statement, and the statement says, when Social Security comes into a 2035, I think, that 73% of the benefits are payable. So what that means is, if you are collecting the Social Security at the time, they can only pay 73. But,
So 73 cents on the dollar. If I'm getting $1, I get 73 cents now.
Yeah, that's what they're going to pay, it says. But since then, there is no numbers. That was the last time I seen it. You can still go online to get your Social Security statement. That's what, how I check it. There is no dates, there is no numbers, because I think the one thing that the government do realize is there is a lot of people out there relying, not solely, but relying on the Social Security, and they paid for it. And they're going to have to get something. So what I do believe that is going to happen, which is in Washington, D.C., in the shelves, there's these things are sitting. They're going to, like for you and me kind of people, they're going to increase the full Social Security retirement age. And they're going to increase the, how much taxes that you're going to pay. Like, instead of $100-some thousand, they're going to increase to a $250, $300, so they can get more tax revenue from that to, divert it to Social Security. That's what I think they're going to do. They might push to 62 to maybe 65, so you wouldn't retire early to collect, maybe work until 65. I think it's going to be there. Is it going to be there the whole thing? I'm not sure, but I don't think the United States government will leave our people with penniless. They are going to do everything they can to give people what they deserve, because the people paid for it, and the people have to get the money back what they paid for.
Subscribe to Redefine Retirement on YouTube, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.